But yeah, so I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. What games have you been playing lately?
Um, I've been playing mostly Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
I just got my level uh 110 weapon, so I'm really
Level 110.
yes, 110 based off the level 95 one I got.
Please tell me that your character is not level 110.
No, my character's level 50. That's the max. This is just item level. They have item levels based on strength, and there's different ways to get stronger equipment. I didn't want to go through the grind fest for your other main weapon, so I just went the other route where you can get that level type of weapon by earning enough points to get letters and some kind of tombstone thingy, and then you get a weapon. Then you can take the weapon and use some sands at time to increase the level. It's basically still a grind fest, but it's an easier grind fest than the harder grind fest that I would have done doing it the other way.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
The reason why I couldn't get into Final Fantasy 11 is because of how absurdly grindy it is. This one, I I kind of went. I heard it was a lot better than 11.
it is. It is a lot better.
That's good. But then again, when it's competing with Guild Wars 2 and WildStar, I choose them over Final Fantasy 14.
I'm a fan, so that's why I went with it. And the only real super grindy part is if you want to get your relic weapon and keep leveling it up, you have to go through all these ridiculous steps to get maybe a 2% chance to get that one drop that will be like 1 out of 20 to get everything you need. But there is a good thing. Like if you go from now I'm a white mage, so I go from, let's say I get my Atma version upgraded to Animus, but then as you're going that to some Z word, I don't know, I haven't gotten that far. To
Zeta.
Novus and Zev, I don't know, but you can customize the stats on it.
Okay, that's not too bad.
So you can do all this grinding, but you can decide what stats you want on that weapon. I mean, there's the usual other things, but you can, like, if you prefer a critical rating, you can have a stronger critical
Okay.
rating if they
Yeah,
give you the option.
it's like I don't mind grinding as much as long as it allows us to get what we want out of it.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. I've have some money saved up on Steam. I'm looking at 2 games, but I'm kind of waiting until the 7th. I'm looking at Alien Isolation, which, despite what IGN says, everything else has been pretty good, and that game looks freaking scary. I don't know
Okay.
about you, but an enemy that you cannot predict at all whatsoever, his, like, Alien Isolation, they programmed an alien that you cannot comprehend. His patterns are completely random, and the way he will kill you is very different. There's no set pattern to watch. He's unpredictable, so you're just hiding in a corner praying to God he doesn't turn around that corner and hope he goes that way so you can kind of crawl like a scared little person to get to the next area. And I love that. I think
That's
that's great.
that's actually what I heard, and it's like people. It's like, well, video people who play video games complain about everything. Period. So it's like you have something that actually works really well, and that's something that makes the game challenging and unpredictable, and people are complaining about it.
Yeah, they're all complaining about it. Oh my God, like saying, well, it's too unpredictable. I just want to go, are you not entertained? You wanted
It's
this.
video gamers; they're
Remember,
never entertained.
remember Alien Colonial Marines? You guys wanted an alien that was just like this. You got it. It's here. And then you're still not happy? Just, I just wanted to go flip a table. Just, come on. You got the alien game you've always wanted. It's right there.
Yeah, but that
They
makes
did,
sense.
from so far from what I'm seeing, they did a great job. we don't. Yes, we don't.
I like the comment Avenger posted. Alien may most likely end up running straight into a wall due to failed AI. We don't talk about that. Pretty much.
Yeah, but this alien doesn't do that. He will go into the vents. You have to listen. You have a little beeper device that tells you if it's nearby, but you don't know if it's above you or below you. You can't kill it. A flamethrower irritates it, but hey, at least it's gone for a few seconds, so you're not dead.
Oh no, don't shoot it. You're just gonna make it mad.
Yeah, pretty much. And you
Mongo like candy.
It just looks like a really good scary game. That's what it should be. You something that you can't fight, you can't kill, and you can't predict it.
That's good. That's a sign of a good survival horror game. Well, I don't really like those types of games just because I'm a scaredy cat. But those are signs of good games. Like my roommate plays them all the time, and he loves the old Silent Hill games because they mess with your mind. It's like you actually have to think a bit.
Yeah.
It's like you have to solve this puzzle while something's bearing down on you, so you got to solve it quick. Or it's like you can't just charge into a crowd guns a-blazing. A la Resident Evil 5 and 6. Like Resident Evil 4 was the last good Resident Evil game in my mind. Because it's like you're walking through a silent forest, looking just following. It's like it's much more linear, but the way they did the fights, it's like it wasn't really like psychological scary. It was more like, okay, you're constantly fighting for ammo. You need to. It's like, all right, do I want to actually kill this crowd, or do I want to conserve my ammo for the next fight, which I know is going to be giant chainsaw wielding psycho of death?
You have to choose wisely.
Exactly. It's like it makes you think, but about different things. While Resident Evil 2 was more like you're wondering which is going to jump out of the wall and send you down the bottomless abyss. While Resident Evil 4, you're more scared of running out of ammo at the worst possible time. And while that wasn't as scary, that still gave you the real big feeling of nervousness, like the feeling that you needed to organize everything, that you needed to fix, that you needed to prepare, you needed to plan your attack out. I guess you could say it was more strategy than horror, but it still gave you that fear that you're going to die.
Yeah, you could die, but you want to try to survive as long as you can.
Exactly. So it's like, which is why I think Resident Evil 4 was probably the last really good Resident Evil game.
And so that game's coming out, Alien Isolation. The other one I'm looking at that I hear so many good things about is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor.
That one's already out, and it looks awesome. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
It's really good. I've seen playthroughs so far. I was a bit of a cynic because I've seen Lord of the Ring games and they never turn out too good. So I was like, I don't know.
I actually liked the Three Kingdoms one, it was the one where you're like playing it was the RPG where you're playing that party parallel to the main group. So it's like, this person will be your Legolas for today. This guy will be your Aragorn for today. Here's your dwarf. Enjoy. So while the game was cheesy in that aspect, so it was a bit of a letdown in, like I said, that aspect, the game itself was actually good. Like, I enjoyed playing it.
I never heard of that one.
It was like Lord of the Rings: The Third Age or something like that. It was a good game. Yeah, let me see if I can dig it up.
But with this game, that really got my eye. At first, I thought, oh, it's just Batman Arkham Asylum recolored from some of the things, because you can jump up, spy, you can do combos. But there's something called the Nemesis system, which is really good in Shadow of Mordor. And what the system is let's just say this orc kills you. Mm-hmm. He becomes captain. He gets a nickname for killing you based on where he died. And they have everything voiced to
Belgrathor the player killer.
Yes, Orgathor the player killer. And he can slowly advance on the ranks depending on which people you pick off. And this is the guy that wants to kill you for some reason or another. Or if, say, you cut down an orc and you cut his face, well, he didn't die, and guess what? He's planning revenge on you.
Well, that's
for you.
Yeah. So it's like the Nemesis system, I think they call it.
Yes.
I've heard good things, and to be honest, while unfortunately I already kind of have my money allocated for the next couple games. Like I just picked up the new Smash Brothers. I picked up Hyrule Warriors. Been playing WildStar, even though I don't really need to pay for that game monthly since I have enough cred to last me till the end of time, or at least the end of next year. But and also Destiny. So it's like I'm playing a lot of those games, and unfortunately, I wish I knew more about this game beforehand. Otherwise, I would have picked it up. But it looks, it is. When I say it looks good, it is good. Like just from what I've seen, just from what I've heard, read about, and watched the playthroughs, the game looks extremely competent. Though I've heard it's an absolute beast in terms of graphic requirements.
I hope
like if you want to play on the computer.
I have a pretty good graphics card. I hope it can run it. I'm pretty sure it can. I mean, I've seen this thing run pretty good.
Well,
so
I'm saying if you want to like play it on like high texture, because one thing that I think was advertised about it was its absurd amount of texture quality. So I actually, like I said, I just rebuilt my computer, so I'm able to play a lot of these games. Like hell, I'm able to play Star Citizen on the highest graphical setting, even though it makes my roommate's laptop cry. Even though his laptops are very good, my computer can handle a lot of stuff. But it's making me worry that it might not be capable of playing it on the highest setting.
Maybe it will. Who knows?
Hope so. Well, I have until the holidays to find out because that's going to be on my holiday list now.
Another good thing that I really saw was kind of pretty cool. Like, let's say you're going on the map, you're doing missions, and all of a sudden you see one mission pop up, which is the revenge system. Another player who has the game, same as you, died to this orc. You have the option to avenge them and go kill that orc.
Alright.
Which, I don't think there's really any multiplayer, but that's pretty cool. Like, one of my friends got killed by the orc, and I go and kill it to avenge him.
That's good.
That's the kind of thing I want to see. Not the SimCity kind, but this kind.
Yeah.
Sure, you're playing solo, but at the same time, there's little things that add your friends a bit to it. And you'd be like, oh yeah, you got killed by a butt bag? Hey, I killed him for you. I don't know about orc names. That's what I can come up with.
Alright. Makes sense.
I'm sorry, I couldn't think of a good orc name.
Rotface, there you go.
There we go. That's a better name.
Alright. But yeah, that game looks good, and it's one of the games that I want to play. Like I really want to dive into that one just because it looks awesome, and B, I've heard nothing but good things about it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting that one eventually. But right now, my money is pretty much spent for the next 2 months.
Well, what games are you picking up?
Well, eventually I'm going to be picking up the Pokemon games, and I'm also going to be picking up the Smash Brothers for the Wii U. So those are the next 2 on my list, and like I said, I basically, there was a stretch of 3 games. Destiny, Hyrule Warriors, and Smash for the DS. That's basically all my money right there, since my situation. So it's like, so yeah, I'm basically playing those, and I also picked up Mercenary Kings on the PlayStation 4, which is, if you're a fan of the Metal Slug games and the Scott Pilgrim game, you'll probably enjoy this one, because it's the art style from the Scott Pilgrim game, and it feels like Metal Slug.
And it's called Mercenary Kings?
Mercenary Kings, yep, it's on the PlayStation Network. I'm not sure if it's on Xbox One, but like I said, I have it on the PS4. It is fun. It is a game that you can just waste time on, because you're just running around, shooting, blowing up everything as graphically as possible.
Looking at the video, it looks kind of funny.
It is. It's like I said, it is the art style from the Scott Pilgrim game, or like the Pirate Baby Cabana Battle Street Fight game, or not game, movie. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if it's that same guy, but it looks very similar. It's the cartoony anime-ish, comic-y, over the top, violent, adorable game.
I if I ever get a PlayStation, I'll have to look at that. That looks actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah, where the hell is it? Mercenary Kings. Yeah, let me just pop this up on the screen. There you go, Mercenary Kings. Yeah, but yeah, it feels a lot like it's just your frantic craziness. It looks fun. Well, it looks fun. It is fun. So yeah. Oh god, they're all looking at me.
They're all, oh god.
And of course, all their eyes blink. But yeah, the game's fun, and I definitely say it's worth checking out at least once.
Is it only on PlayStation or?
Like I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it'll let me know. It's on It is on Steam. It is on PS4. It does not say anything about the 360, but let's check out what the buy screen is. Yeah, like right now you could get it on Steam.
That's good. I'll have to check it out there sometime.
Yep. It's a fun game. Definitely worth it. But yeah, so. Oh yeah, going back on Final Fantasy, it seems that they are completely disregarding the turn-based system now. They look like they were going to go back with it with Final Fantasy 13. And they basically said, you know what, screw it, live action now, hooray, have fun. Which, to me, that's not Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is turn-based, or with the action bar, or whatever the hell they want to call it. That's Final Fantasy to me. If I wanted to play an action game, I'd play a different game. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it's a little disheartening, but at the same time, it wasn't originally Final Fantasy 15. It was originally Type 0. When it was first made, it was supposed to be a tie-in to Final Fantasy 13. There were supposed to be two games based in the same world. And you know how well 13 went, and this game was in development.
I actually like 13. I actually like the 13 battle system.
I'm a story nerd. I didn't like the fact that it didn't explain anything, and
it did. You just had to read a book.
Yeah, if I want to read a book, I'll go read a book. But if you're playing a game, just invest in me. But anyway, so they were doing it live action as a spin-off, but then I think they did something more and more, and they decided, you know what? We got all this work into it. It's a whole new world now. We'll make it Final Fantasy 15. So I don't think they were originally going to make it from the start. They just put it on there after working on it for so long. I grew up on Final Fantasy. I was a huge fan as a kid. Final Fantasy 2/4 on the Super Nintendo was the very first game I played. That's what got me into video games. That's what did it. And as much as I'm sad to see turn-based go, at the same time, we're moving on to an age where people can't do turn-based anymore for some reason. There's a majority can't, but we minority can, because there's a sense of strategy. You have to
it's the death of patience.
Exactly, the death of patience. And it's sad, because I'll never forget when I played and watched my mother play Final Fantasy IV up to the end with that final boss, which they did not censor the sprite. I mean, the game was watered down, but they didn't censor the sprite, and I had nightmares for weeks. I dreamt that that crazy thing came into the shadows, abducted me, and ran off. And when I played it myself and learned how the turn base went and got the patience and planned how to kill it and did, it was like,
It felt like an accomplishment.
I accomplished something. And I moved on to other games and to Final Fantasy VI, which taught me clowns are evil. Don't ever trust them, ever. For the love of God, never trust clowns. I learned fear in that, but he took a long time to kill at the end. Because even in turn-based, he was unpredictable. But when I figured it out, and since I was so invested in that story, I felt so accomplished. Even if a little, like, did I really win? The world's still dead. But getting on from that, it was really good. It was really accomplishment. And that's what some people aren't getting in games today. Not many people feel that accomplished anymore. They don't have the patience to plan, grind up their spells, figure out, okay, this boss is this. How do I go about it? Or challenge themselves and purposely go in 10 levels under and see if they could kill it with just some good strategy. That's what I used to do as a kid. If just go in 10 levels lower, see if I could do it. And sometimes I did it, and I was always proud when I could.
I see the difference for me is like I like being over leveled. I like running into areas and just stomping on their faces and collecting everything. It's like I worked my ass up to get to this level. I want to just unwind somewhere and just blow everything up.
Yeah, and he had a point. The person in the chat room, Avenger Junior, he has a good point. It was a game. The story didn't have room to breathe in itself. But with Final Fantasy 15, even if the battle system isn't turn-based, I really think the story is going to sell us. I don't know what the story is about.
But that's the thing. We don't know what the story is. If the story is good, great. But they might drop the ball on the story again. Kind of like how they did with Final Fantasy 13. Like, the game was gorgeous. The graphically absolutely phenomenally beautiful. But the story was lacking. The areas were completely linear, which didn't feel like a Final Fantasy game at all. It wasn't until like the exact end where it felt like you had any exploration whatsoever. It's like Final Fantasy X. I think that started with Final Fantasy X, where they're going away from the giant open world that we saw in every other Final Fantasy previously.
Which is very disappointing, because that was the whole point. You explore.
Yeah. It's like they're going away from everything that made Final Fantasy Final Fantasy. And then they're going to wonder why the hell it's not selling.
Because people want to explore. Sure, they're not going right to the main story, but they find a village they never want to and go explore, talk to people, learn the lore, do things on their own. That's what a lot of people really enjoyed. I loved it. Back when I played Final Fantasy VI as a kid, when we got to the World of Ruin, and I could explore, I explored. I went everywhere. I did what I wanted on my own. I could choose who I wanted to pick up and why. I really liked it. And finding out all the story points and doing what I wanted before going to the end of the game. And that's what people are missing out now. You don't get to explore. Like, even Final Fantasy VII, which was their biggest game ever, had a lot of exploration and little things to do. Raising chocobos to go explore the parts that they...
But another thing I noticed, the game has gone away from the, what feels like hand-drawn art styles. Like, you aren't just running around... Like, say, Final Fantasy VIII, a lot of their backgrounds were beautiful. But it's like you could tell that they were just superimposed backgrounds and you're bound to run in a certain area.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you were still able to explore, and them doing that saved a lot of data, saved a lot of space on the data. Final Fantasy IX, same thing. now with Final Fantasy, but with like 10, 10, 12, 13, those were all more. They were open world in that you could run around in the area and fight enemies. Like you saw the enemies standing there rather than having really random encounters. Well, 13 had or 10 had random encounters.